I'm gonna play. Let me see. Am I back? Yes, I'm back. All right. I'm gonna play a video. There's a video I want to play for Una. Davido was at Breakfast
I'm
Club.
pen and paper guy, and I'm motion.
I played a little bit of it the other day here.
Like a real.
So Davido is part of the face of the channel today, as we were talking about. Two-Face and Davido was the face, of us asking the question: do all men cheat? But the question I have right now is: Davido done cheating? So I'm gonna play a little small part of this Breakfast Club radio show in New York City, and see what he says.
Happened too, so it's like I'll just be thinking about that too.
So I'm gonna come at you like a real, not no African, like a real American nigga. So
American, that's your language, Adama. This is how you guys speak in American.
Dede, you done cheating? Like it's done. Like you.
I know once what I like
American nigga. So Dede, you done cheating? Like
You done cheating. So I thought it was the one volunteering the information, but apparently it wasn't the one. It was actually asked. But there's a way to the video. You have to prepare for this kind of questions. These are not the questions you answer directly. You prepare for them. It's still not the excuse to self-indict. Let's keep going.
like it's done. Like you.
I know once what I like. You know, you ever tell I say I don't want any what I like.
No.
I said Dede, nigga, not
I'm
Davido.
okay.
Okay.
I'm on my envy swag right now.
But you can
All right. So if you don't know Envy, this is Envy, right? This is Envy right here. Envy was the guy who was years ago. Now it's been years ago, but that's part of the story. Him and his wife have told the story. He was cheating on his wife, and then he got caught red-handed. He apologized on radio. They live happily ever after. So of course, because of people like Envy, they will say men always cheat, But I see your Dama. I'll come right to you in a minute here, right? Because this is actually our last story. I think so, yeah. So that's Envy's story as well. So he said, I'm on my Envy swag right now. So Davido is saying he's repented. Okay, all right, shout out to him. People applaud him, but it's also a setup. If you disappoint them again.
You can add more wives to the roster if you want to.
If I want to, but I don't.
Yeah, because
Too much wahala.
He said, if I want to cheat, but I don't. He said, too much wala, right? So if you want to.
I have four kids. I have 5 kids.
Five
and
kids.
4 women. With
Four women.
Yeah, so you already know.
So you done. That's it. I want to go home.
I'm sweating already.
Okay, so he's sweating already. Okay, he's sweating already. All right. So that question, do all men cheat? It's almost like you want to ask, like, do all men cheat at some point, or eventually cheat, or at some point we cheat? Right? That's like that. So the question maybe can carry a lot more context than just one, right? Let's keep going.
In certain regions in Nigeria, you can have more than one
Yes,
wife.
no.
Okay, so let's correct everybody once and for all. Polygamy is not the same thing as cheating. Polygamy is when with your full chest you say I want more than one woman, and you understand that that's a thing, and there are women out there that are actually absolutely fine with that. I think I saw a clip. I didn't watch the clip, but I saw in passing that Tokemakinwa is actually open to, allegedly, because I didn't really watch it, allegedly open to being a 3rd, 4th, or 5th wife now. Once you hit 40, 42, and you're still looking for a husband, and you're a person of a certain means, that may be, there are women that are open to that as a point. That's polygamy. That's not the same thing as cheating. It's in no way equal to each other.
Certain reasons. It's like if you
want to, yeah.
a lot of
if you
people
want,
do.
you just. It don't have to be a religion. It don't have to be anything like you.
Okay, now for example, the eastern part of Nigeria, which is like the Igbos.
Igbo.
Like,
Igbo
I've
Kwenu.
seen a lot of situations.
Let me bring
especially
Adama
like
up right now.
Niger Delta parts of Nigeria. I've seen a lot of situations where it's like multiple wives. Like my uncle that's the governor, he got 2 wives. You know what I'm saying? I have another uncle.
So the dancing uncle, the governor, he got 2 wives. I didn't know that. But yes, polygamy is a thing. You can practice it. Now, we can have a conversation around if it's advisable or not. That's the whole conversation around that. But it's a thing, and there's nothing wrong with it, right?
That all his wives live with him. Like they be playing with each other, like in the crib. But he's Christian.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
how much money he got though?
He's very rich.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Shit over here, dude.
Davido is saying it doesn't mean anything if you have money, that if you don't want peace of mind, that it's probably a bad idea to be cheating. So he's right. But again, he better sit on that pedestal right there. Don't get off it.
But there's still wahala. Upon all the money, there's still wahala. Do you understand? I'd rather go and live with how my other guy is living. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because maybe I've had bad experiences. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes experience is the best teacher. You feel me? I'm saying, like, it's just never not worth it because.
So one of the experiences, I'm guessing, being him being caught on video, kneeling down and crying and begging the side chick somewhere, but or being dragged by Anita. Remember Anita? Tell Anita, oh. you know that Anita hand, that Anita that was dragging Davido, like it was like almost 2 years ago now. So I think that's the bad experience. Some people cannot, they don't have the grace to do the wrong things for too long. They will cast.
When it happens, I know how many times when we was on the yachts in Miami, having the best time, and then when it happens, what you gonna be saying? Damn, I shouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
I should have stayed, man. And
So after you don't commit, like I should have stayed my ass home. Now
the worst.
But we not
there's a video of me out there crying.
talking about that though. We talking about
I'm not
having
cheating
another.
again.
No, not cheating. If you're able to have another wife under
Yes.
If you're able to have another wife,
Nigeria,
Yeah. Would I?
Yeah.
No.
he said no, it's okay. My guy is cool. My guy is cool. Anyway, is Davido done cheating? I have Adama on the stage. I have Uncle Patrick hanging out with me on the stage. Esa, first of all, before that's the question. I want to round up that segment so we can move on into. No. Let me just say this before I round up that segment because I've got a conversation I want us to have here. Is Davido done cheating? Right? Apparently he wasn't. He was asked, but there's a way to answer such questions. Now, you might say, Ola, why can't he just answer like that? And I know that's what we're about to talk about, right? Because cheating is much more than just sexual relationship with somebody outside of your spouse, right? But it involves encountering certain behaviors outside of your spouse. That's cheating, right? Or without the consent of your spouse, outside of what you agreed to or what your covenant was involved, like whatever you signed up for in that covenant with your spouse, you're doing something entirely outside of it, right? Without their consent. That is cheating. Okay, the one that we highlight the most is when you enter somebody's kwekus by mistake without the consent of your wife. And I get it, I understand, it hurts badly because your territory has been encroached upon by your spouse and another person with the permission of your spouse. So I get that. So is Davido done cheating? I personally, I hope so, but then it's an example of is it impossible for a married man to not cheat? That was the original question asked by Zach Lisoma. What's his name? I forgot his name. The skit maker. That was the original question. That is it possible for married men to not cheat? Is this even a possible thing, right? So I have what I call the sad truth that I want us to talk about today, because this conversation is not going to be as simple as just don't cheat, because I already agree with you on that. Nobody should be cheating. Stealing and lying is absolutely wrong, and you will collect if you do it. Okay, but why do people do it knowing fully well that it's wrong? Oh, by the way, women cheat too. I know it's newsflash, but just so we put that there, you know. But is Davido done cheating? So let me read some of this comment, and I'll come to you, lady and gentlemen, Adama and Uncle Patrick. Let me see here. They already started in the chat. They already started with if you don't learn control early. Okay, we already passed that one. Ice, shout out to Ice. Saying he messed up. That was too much info about his wife. Listen. Oh, the one where he's trying to sound like a gangster, you know what I'm saying? With that part, right? MOP, I don't understand. What should he say? I will probably, first of all, don't compare myself to DJ Envy. But people are done cheating when they actually realize it's not worth it. It's it not because of their wife or biz to thrive. That's a good point. Ice. That's a good point. Davido can't stop. Voila. We don't know. We can't judge Davido. He might stop. He now owes the world all of his monitoring spirits to stop. So he did that to himself. So except if you grow up in that aspect, which is hard. Exactly, they are different. Davido, I don't cheat no more. I think he stopped. That I just let's pray for him. The video, you know nothing about Niger. Polygamy in Niger is not tribe or religion. I thought it was off with that one too. MOP, I tell every time family dynamics as slot to play. I didn't get that. The video family has women issues. Check all. Even his dad is single at this old age. Well, he's single because he's lost his wife, I thought. What do you mean? Did he have another wife after that? Davido mom had two boys and a girl. Their family and women 5 and 6. Women are beautiful. Don't get it twisted. Don't ever get that twisted. Women are beautiful. And I understand. Maybe, who knows? I think he has grown up. Exactly, Bumi. Right? Exactly. Actually, I'm rooting for him. Shoma is not worried. Why shall I wonder? If you listen to this interview, Shoma actually dragged the shit out of him. He actually alluded to a lot of that. You know, let me get through this. Hold on one second. Where are we? Okay, there you go. He admitted cheating before and can, but because biz don't go well, I just wouldn't speak too much to the topic if I've been known to. I will continue. You know, Esa, help me here, sir. Maybe you can help me in English and I'll go to Adama. Wanted to show you about for Obo, sir. Can you help me translate that to English, sir? Is there a way to do that, sir?
Okay, let me just, if God blesses you, you don't have to do a testimony. It's not testimony that it's not blessing that you testify about.
Yes. Testimony. Shout out to a video that Auntie B did this morning. That was a good video. Go watch it. A video that she did recently. It's about this testimony of a thing, you know. But the question is not, is Davido done cheating? The question is, has he hit rock bottom, or does he see anything wrong in cheating? That's a good question. We're going to talk about that too. MOP, all those one are English. The cheating with Davido is sexual. We don't even know that. Does he have a sex tape out there or something? We don't even know that. What do you mean, Bumi? Bumi's like, no, we know. Stop. Anyway, so when out all these boys have women, the sponsor will be lonely. And it's not easy. If you have a wife at home that you care about, and like you said, Ice earlier on, you've been there, done that, you can actually get into a space where you're content. Okay? But it's not because you're holier than thou. It's because you've been there, done that. You have a foresight that's not really a foresight. The foresight is not really a foresight because you actually seen it and you know that you can destroy your life doing it. You can destroy not just your life, but lives of other people, you know. Yes, lots of married men, women don't. Women. I enjoyed this interview. I can see some growth and himself accountable. Absolutely, it's a good one. Go watch it on Breakfast Club. He has to stop gallivanting around with those boys. Your network, we're going to talk about that too in a second here. We're going to talk about that. Women cheat more, but men are known. High size. High size, you're speaking a lot. You have data. Women cheat a lot. More? I don't know. Women cheat a lot, just like a lot of women cheat, just like a lot of men cheat. More? That more is pregnant too. You have data. Share, please do share with your brother. Men of Prestige, which one is women cheat to? Which kind? What aboutism is this? I know. I'm sorry. I'm guilty. You got me there. No, he had a wife after, but it didn't work. Family dynamics have a lot to say. Okay, all right. So let's do this. Let me bring Adama. Talk to me. How are you doing, my dear? How are you?
Good evening, man of Prestige. Good evening, Uncle Patrick. How are you guys doing?
Good evening to you. First of all, tell me everything that's on your heart, and then we'll get to the conversation.
I've been watching, I've been listening to everything you've been saying. I'm going to start with the last video you played in regards to Davido as
Mm-hmm.
at the Breakfast Club, this thing. I've watched the video.
Mm-hmm.
Has Davido stopped cheating? My own personal opinion, no, he's not. Davido is still childish and naive. He's only rehearsing what his publicists have him say, and he knows his wife is listening. So at the end of the day, he has a lot of growing up to do because you know why? Once you start getting caught. Davido has just rebranded himself when it comes to cheating. And I don't think people realize that before you sleep with any of these celebrities, you have to sign a NDA or something, if I'm not mistaken, where you cannot disclose anything that has happened. Like you cannot come out in public tomorrow and say, "Oh, I had this." The thing with Ronaldo came to Vegas when he came to play. You know
Mm-hmm.
Ronaldo, the soccer player, right?
What do you mean came
And
to? Do you
after
live in
she said,
Vegas? Do you live in Vegas?
no, she came. No, no, no. This is a known case. It happened,
Oh, okay, so
and
okay. Because you said
yeah,
he
Ronaldo the
came
son.
to, like you live there or something.
No, no, no. He came to Vegas. They met in Vegas.
Okay.
That's
I
where they
got you. I
came
got
to
you.
play the
That's what they
soccer.
meant. Mm-hmm.
The soccer. Yes, that's where they met. And she signed this after they had whatever happened. She went that same night, I believe how many hours, and found something and said Ronaldo raped her. That she slept with Ronaldo because with like it was not her consent. In other words, but given that what she signed, Ronaldo, those things were able to be tossed out in court, and up to today, you don't hear about it. We don't speak about it. So for those that don't know, celebrities and even Nigerians, celebrities, Burna Boy, all of them, these people have mastered cheating. So if you ask me of the opinion, Davido, I don't know what is he in his 20s? Is he up to 30? I don't think
I
so.
think the video is
Maybe
about
I'm
30 or
wrong, but to be
31. I think it might be 30 or
okay,
31.
30. So, mm.
Okay.
But knowing the family background, if you know
He's
Davido
32. The video
family
is 32.
background, yeah, if you know Davido's family background, you know that they like women, and there's nothing wrong with liking women. But this is
Mm-hmm.
one thing I want to say, and I want to put a caution on. In this era where he's a famous celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what you just played about what's his name? Will Smith
Yes. Will
about
Smith.
power, and I wrote in the comment section and I said power and fame does intoxicate, and I maybe mistakenly yes, I mistakenly word my comment. I didn't write it well, and I said if you're in Nigeria, add they don't have common sense to it, because the more
Mm.
famous they are, the more
Mm.
known they are drunk in power. They think they are immune to a lot of things they do. They feel they can see a woman, they can go to a club and they see a woman there's their type, they'll just tell their bouncer bring her to the VIP because he's
Mm.
Davido. So let's be realistic. Do I think Davido has stopped cheating? No, the truth is Davido. If you want to know if blood work can tell us the truth, the last time he had sex outside woman other than Chilma, please, I would love to do that blood work, and I can guarantee you with everything in me that that blood work is going to come out that he's not been faithful. Yes.
So let me ask you this question then. Let me
So
flip this
that's the point.
question. Let me flip a question to you. Do
Mhm.
you think he can ever stop cheating? Your opinion is that he hasn't stopped. Do you think even he can ever stop cheating?
Mhm. He can stop cheating. Can I say something? Cheating is something, it has something to do with those you surround yourself with, and you have to have self-control. Self-control is a big thing. You have
Mm-hmm.
Brother Patrick here, you have you man of prestige. Man of prestige, I don't know your profession, but in my profession, do you know how many nice looking men I see all the time? My profession, I work with 85% male.
Mm-hmm.
Male. My profession doesn't have a lot of women in it. Okay.
Mm.
So, do you know how much successful men I see in my profession? And not just successful, men who are just looking to have a good time. So, you
Mm-hmm.
have to learn to control yourself, even though that's where I met my husband. Yes, I met my husband in the OR. I've said that in Uncle Ben's show. At the end of the day, you as a person have to learn to have self-control. And I saw something, what is this person wrote in the comment section, that women do cheat more than men. That is so true. There is a data behind it. And man of prestige, I don't have my work. I'm in Boston, so I don't have my work laptop. Yes, there's a research that was done. Women do cheat more than men. The difference is
Really?
women. You guys think that you're smart. Women are very smart at it, and they can outsmart you guys, and that's why they never get caught. Yes.
Wow, wow. All right, let me say this. Let me say this about, my number one here, funny enough, has values and self control here. But there's something I want to tell you about self control in particular, right? Self control is just as good as values because they're actually different, but I put them together, right? They're just as good as the in-depth value that you have based from how you were raised, but also your personality, also many other factors that we're going to talk about here today. Emotional fulfillment. Your self-control is just as good as how fulfilled you feel emotionally, what kind of boundaries you have around you. Self-awareness is also key. There's a lot of people claiming self-control that don't necessarily have the self-awareness, or also they haven't been put in a position where all of that gets questioned, right? And also communication, which I'll talk about in a section in a second here, right? But I think self-control is probably the least of all of them. I think we should have self-control, but I think there are other factors that actually controls self-control itself. But we'll talk more about that. Thank you so much for that, Adama. I think it's still, nonetheless, it's very, very important, as you can see. Yeah, Uncle Patrick, sir, what do you have to say about this Davido of a thing? Has it stopped cheating, in your opinion? If you were just to guess, because allegedly.
Let me first of all give Adama a flower. She has
Yes,
made
sir.
valuable contribution. Thank you, Adama. That was
She said help to
Thank you,
mute.
sir.
Mhm.
that
Thank you,
was
sir.
great. Yeah, that was great. I was just shaking my head like, wow. Anyway, as far the video, I hope you will stop. You know what came to my mind? I'm going to throw Adama's line. Davido grandfather, great grandfather in his profession, like Sonia Ade. You know how many wives they have? Shina Peter, Fela Nikulapo.
Mm.
You know what
Yes,
I mean?
so
Even
yes.
Even
Ebenezer Obey before Konto Shatushe, before he got rid of all of them. Yes.
so the video is so lucky. Even at his younger age, I'm so disappointed that even before 30, he has a lot of baby mama. That's so disappointing.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm serious. What is wrong with him? He's just gonna look older than his age as time goes on. Look at his uncle; they look younger. If I've given birth early, the video might even bring my grandson. I'm serious. I don't know why I should go ahead and start doing that. And they say I'm done. Well, I don't know about that.
So you don't believe him, sir, that he's done?
I hope. No, I don't believe him. I hope. You don't have to blow your trumpet. Actions sing louder than
Thank you, sir.
because you are at a forum, you are just saying I'm done. You are kidding. And
Yeah.
like Amma rightly said, all of them they just sign a non-disclosure this thing. Yeah, it has to do with discipline.
Yeah. So they got smarter. That's what Adama was trying to say. They got smarter because they now sign paperwork. They take their phones before you enter whoever they are, the mansion. They take their phone. In fact, I have a friend who was telling me, sir, sorry to interject this, I'll let you go. I have a friend who was telling me about some of these things that they do in Atlanta. All these swing parties, where they actually take people's phone and all that kind of stuff. Like if you come to those parties, they take your phone before you enter, and you have to sign certain people. There's a lot going on
You're
out there.
talking about swing party. You're talking. It's called orgy parties. And
orgy
these ones, they
parties.
are so advanced that they take some of them require. It depends on what the celebrity who is involved in. The one they did last time in Vegas, I heard something about all the women that were required to come. Everybody did a blood work because there are men who want
They
specifically they
want
want to be
raw.
raw. Yes.
Fish.
You see what I'm saying? The women should even educate us. And like Adama said, it has to do with you being disciplined. I work with Harvard. I work with women that are under me, about 15, and I work with other senior managers. I'm not stupid. I even know ladies that have crush on me. I'm going to give you an example. You're usually in the office, and some of them, all these white ladies, married, big. Even though they respect me, some of them look at me, but this guy is from Africa or just opportunity to school in America, you know what I mean? But when they get closer to me, that's this guy is smart. So one of the ladies, I went out early in the morning that day. I was coming back around 11. So he was just pulling in. He was pulling, I was pulling in. So one is, he was looking at my car. What kind of beautiful fine car is this? So when it's Patrick, are you kidding? So I saw it in her eye, like she was shocked. Are you serious? This guy is pulling this car. I just kept quiet. So, Ola, I'm serious. Me and the lady, we attended some 1 or 2 classes. Can you believe this lady DM me? Yeah, she's married. She DM me. I just lose it. No, I know different.
So I have a question for you now, sir. I have a question for you. We're gonna go to our number 6. So I said there are 7 base factors. 7 base factors that we have to consider before you can answer the question: do all men cheat?
Yeah.
Number 6 of them is available options. And when I say available options, what I mean is that temptation exists.
Yeah.
But not everyone is exposed to the same level of temptations.
I just gave you an example now.
So I'm going to ask you a question, sir, because even temptations, we all have a temptation. Even like Adama said, there are a lot of firemen at work when you go to work, or as you move about life, especially for a woman, because women actually do have people throwing themselves, men throwing themselves at them all the time. But even if you're a decent looking man and you're matured, women find that attractive. By the way, if you're married, some women don't have any problem with that, So not everyone is exposed equally to the same level of temptation. Some people are surrounded by super flirty workers. There's flirty workers, there's flirty co-workers, there is naked flirty co-workers. There is naked flirty co-workers. Their job is highly sexual in nature. In fact, that's what they sell, and some of them are exes, some of them are fans, others aren't. Some people are just straight co-workers, some people are just straight work husband, nothing, So there's levels to this madness that we're talking about, temptation right now, okay? And there's also the perceived desirability that someone like Davido would have, like being Davido. A lot of women would throw themselves at Davido, right? So when we say temptations, sir, there's levels to the kind of temptations I'm exposed to versus the kind of temptations that a Davido will be exposed to. Women will find him attractive, not particularly because of his looks, because of the access to fame, money, just starstruck, all those kind of things. So there's the opportunity and there's something called willpower. When we say self-control here, we're often talking about willpower, right? Versus opportunities that comes with that type of lifestyle where you go like, we should have been careful. We could have, why did you guys, you didn't sign DNA with these people? You didn't take their phone. How did they have access to this kind of phone? You were very careless. Let's help you, right? So now with that being said, sir, if you were in a Davido shoe and you're Davido, let's think Davido. Now, Davido is a superstar, top 3 in Nigeria, hands down, not argue. We can't argue it. With that level of access or exposure to temptation what would you say with regards to self-control? I don't know how you're going to go about it, but self-control, exposure to temptation, sir.
Yeah, Ola, you have to be determined. You have to make up your mind. I'm not doing this. Let me tell you, Ola, you're a man. Woman is woman. It doesn't matter their age. I mean, as an adult, whether that person read or is an illiterate, she's a woman. I'm going to give a very simple example. A man has a wife that she's not, that does third shifts. And the man has little kids and with a maid. And you know, women, my wife does that when my kids were little. She wake up in the morning, in the night, and go and check their room. So this man just woke up one night. Said, let me go and see this kid. One of them was having a running nose, whether I slept, you know. Before you know it, the man saw the doors were open. Close the doors, cover them, the kids. Go to the other door, saw the girl too. The door was open, stark naked. Naked. The man said, no. The man quickly shut the door on her, went home. When the wife came, told the wife, call this girl, never in her life should do that. Are you getting me? Never shall she want. And the wife trusted her, you know. One time, let me give you an my own. I have issue with my wife. One of my friends, Reverend, came and he said that. I was shocked when the man said, okay, no, but let me ask, is Brother Patrick cheating? The woman, my wife said, please don't bring that one to our house. I trust him, you know. And you know what? The man jumped and said, everything is settled. If that one is settled, it's a very close. Everything is settled.
Right.
Yeah, the man now sit down. Okay, what is going on? You know, my woman. So what I'm bringing out is woman is woman. Don't belittle them. Do not. It doesn't matter your cadre of the level at which you are. If you could be fooled by a very young girl that you say, oh my God, look at Clinton, what almost destroys his presidency. An intern that came, that's a very good example. An intern, a lady, a small young university kid, almost ruining him. If not for the way they covered him. So let's look at it on that way. Woman be woman, and you know be wood. Yes, you know be wood.
Yes. Yeah, that's why, because you're very quick to remind us too that's why the Bible says flee, right?
Yeah, flee.
There will not be, if self-control was that super duper and it was so we can just turn it on and off, there will not be any need to flee now. After all, we have self-control.
You know that the case I just told you. If I want to move further, I will have, texted the lady to be chatting. So what's up? You know, she's a mature. I'm talking about somebody mature in a high place. So, but
I will add this to that, sir. I will add this to that. Please, Adama, feel free to chime in anytime. I will add this to that. You see, this self-control of a thing. Because we like to talk about it when it comes to cheating, I also like to spend some more time on it. It's a muscle. It's a muscle that can actually get stronger and it can get weaker. Why? How? Because there are other factors, right? Ideally, it's super strong, right? Let me read. There's a comment here. So shout out to Antonia. Antonia is here. Shout out to Antonia Itose. Antonia first said, she said, cheating is a personal decision. It has nothing to do with influences here and there. It's what you decide to do. It's an act done willingly, except if sex is by force, maybe rape. Again, so everything she said, I agree with, right? The sex by force part, she's making this about just sex alone. Obviously, we can all agree that it's premeditated when people also cheat, right? They had been thinking about it. They have been nursing the idea that this is wrong. I shouldn't do this. They're at the point where they're tempted. They're like, I shouldn't do this. This is right. Or they might be like, no, not a big deal, right? Right. It depends on what other factors, right? Other factors like maybe let's me and you can agree on maybe the way they were raised. Maybe their father is a polygamist and it's nothing to them, right? Or maybe their personality, maybe they are also a person. There's also certain people that are very particular when it comes to integrity, and they will do it to a fault, even to their own detriment, right? Even if it's not really integrity, because it's more or less an expectation on other people. Some people actually will mix that together. That's a conversation for another day. But Antonia says Davido has a personal decision to stop cheating if he wants to. I also agree with that. But if he wants to, what if he doesn't want to? What if he
Well, can I
wanted
add something
to?
to that?
No, hold on 1 second. Let me finish that thought,
Go
right?
ahead.
What if he wants to yesterday, but today now the temptation is so heightened that he's scratching his head like maybe today I don't want to, right? Because I agree with the statement, right? Anyone can stop cheating if they want to. Again, what if he changed his mind and it's too thick, like the temptation is so, or I just finished arguing with my spouse and he's been getting on my nerves, and I don't know, I need to clear my brain, and you find yourself in a vulnerable situation even as a woman. Does that happen or it doesn't happen? Even though yesterday I didn't want to, when I got married to you, I didn't want to, because I still agree with the statement if you want to. And I don't think it has anything to do with age. Regardless, people cheat at different ages. Okay, so I agree with you, Antonia. We're just taking the conversation a little bit further. Go ahead, Adama, speak to me.
So what I want to say to what you said, I want people to understand this. That cheating. When you say self control, I wanted to add. When I feel like self control and integrity are like brothers and sisters, and at the same time, these are things you have to constantly work in it. What am I trying to say? If you know you're someone, you're in an environment where you're privy to women who would throw themselves at you. What do I mean by that? Ask yourself, men who own strip the
Strip
joints,
clubs
who strip
or a
clubs and
bar.
all this stuff, a bar and everything, they're married men.
Yep.
It takes a lot for you to learn how to control yourself. Now, let me make one thing clear. There's something called sex addiction. Sex addiction is real, and it's something a lot of our young men are dealing with. And not just that, our young men just want to have sex because they want to. So when you put someone in Davido's level who has influence and power, who feels if I sleep with this person, oh, you say you're pregnant, put her on the list. She wants to get child support. Or what do I need to do? So it's no longer sex for me. It's about, are you practicing safe sex? For you to be in that caliber and sleep with any woman without a protection, something is definitely wrong with you. And another thing I want
Yeah.
to say to our viewers is these people are exposed to a lot of ecstasies, drugs, they're high, they drink a lot. What happens when
Influence.
you combine
Influence.
alcohol with all this drug? You want to like you feel like you're on top of the world. So
Yep.
let us be, no matter how caution and how disciplined you are, and you just finish performing in an O2 arena, and you're coming out and your boys are saying, oh man, you kill it, you kill it, you kill it. And you're so used to
On top of the
drinking and
world.
everything, on top of the world and everything,
Yeah.
and you get high, this, that. Trust me, when you will bang that girl, you won't know. So that's what I say. In order for me to believe that Davido is going to change, he needs to work on those people he surrounds himself with. One.
Exactly.
And two, he needs to be honest about what he's dealing with sexually. I am open to man of prestige. You know one thing you don't know. I don't know. I know you know about sexuality is this thing. There's different kind of relationship. Like I
Right.
don't know if you know this guy that is in African famous Netflix. His Diamond
Which
Platinum.
one?
Diamond
Diamond. Yeah.
Platinum.
Diamond. Yeah.
He said he has 10 women from 10 different countries. And those countries,
Yeah.
any one of
Yeah.
them, he can call them up anytime. And I'm
Anytime.
asking myself, dude, and my daughter asked me, my daughter said, Mommy, are these women sick? What is so attractive about him? I said, because this woman, do you know what it means to be in bed with Diamond Platinum?
It's powerful. It's a powerful thing.
So that's what I say. When it
Yeah.
comes to Africa, when power, money, influence, ego, everything mixed together, you think with Smith is doing a cleansing, Davido's cleansing will be double.
Wow.
Thank you,
Wow.
sir.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Ola, let me say something, Ola.
Yes, sir.
You know, I've not said this on the social media.
Let's expand the conversation.
I've not said this on the social
Don't
media
cheat. Don't
before.
steal. Don't lie. You shouldn't. But let's expand the conversation. Go ahead, sir. I'm listening, sir.
You know, when I was in Nigeria as a student, I dated a foreign student.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she just liked me. I said, wow, I was smart then. And when they give us, you know, homework, assignments, you know, she'll be having trouble with it, but I will solve it. You know, what kind of brain do you this guy? So the only thing she told me was, Patrick, you know, I like you, but don't make a mistake of talking to my friends. I said, no, I won't do that. So that was it. So after school, we lost contact. So when I came to America, we were able to reconnect. Well, I just let me type her name on Facebook before, you know, this lady, are you kidding me? She said, no. So we connected. So she wasn't married. I said, what happened? She now told me she has some health issue, you know, so they have to remove her womb. You understand that she's alone. This us living a big place. Oh, that's good. But like, I believe that she still want to take it further. She wanted me to go on cruise with her. She's going to pay for everything. I said, no, I can't do that.
You know, Mario said something earlier, sir. I think you deserve to see it. Sir. Hold on. Where's Marriott? Marriott. Your Marriott always have some wise things to say. And she said, those women should close their eyes, Uncle Patrick. You have your own sisters protecting you, sir. Your own nieces and sisters protecting you all day. They need to close their eyes.
But Uncle Ben, man of prestige and man of prestige.
Hold on.
Man of prestige, I just
Hold on.
want to say something, please. What Brother Patrick is saying. I want to ask Brother Patrick this question. Why do you think that woman still kept the same way she felt about you and still want to reconnect?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. That question is loaded.
Yeah.
Hey, sir, go for it, sir. Go for it, sir.
I think because she doesn't have anybody. And you know one thing? She told me everything about her life. What? And I was like, I said, I just have to cut ties. I'm serious. And that's what I do.
You know, sir, there are some women like that they will actually come into your life. The original intention is not to mess with you as a married man. That wasn't the original intention. It ends up happening.
If you go on cruise, so what's going to happen?
That's what I said initially, right? There's some women that actually come to your life. See, now they were talking cruise at that point in time. There's ulterior motives, but if the moment when they discovered you again, let me tell you something. I have a lot of cases, sir. A lot of people, right? I give that example here all the time because it's a pattern, it's a trend. Women inside of WhatsApp chats with their exes, right? Oftentimes it's another state, another country, right? And to them, they didn't see it going there, but then they start to grow fond of an imaginary person because the ex you had when you were in university and high school is not the same person 10, 20 years later. You're just fantasizing about what you thought that was, right? So oftentimes it's just a fantasy and they want it to stay fantasy. Sometimes it's no big deal. It's just a friend. And sometimes it end up becoming something else.
You know what I'm going to say is, one of my sisters said something. If whatever you cannot finish, don't start it. And what I would just say is that I don't even want to deal with them. You know what I mean? I don't even want to start it. I don't want to finish it. It's not as if I'm hard, because I know the kind of person I may be. No. That's how the word flee. I use the word
Yeah.
flee. I don't even want to go there. Maybe one time in 1 year is okay. And if it's 5 years, 4 years, it doesn't make, you know. So you have to be very careful.
Chidima said, I agree with Uncle Patrick. Self-control is easier said than done. Like the Bible says, flee. We have biblical examples of Joseph. Contrast with Samson. Uncle Patrick, it's like you are a good listener and give women emotional support. I think it's because you are involved in pastoral counseling. So it's part of you now. May God continue to give you wisdom, sir. Sir, maybe you can speak to this more, sir. People think, oh, those pastors are just bad. I said, no. It's that you're oversimplifying it. Anytime you call something good or bad, it's your attempt to oversimplify something that you can't relate at that level. But when people are in a position of power and influence, right, you're going to need a lot more than morals. You're going to need a lot more than that. Let me go to number 5. Let me just jump in number 5 here. Plug this in right here. This positioning of a thing is all about where some people are in not just life, but their position in status in society, right? Their status in society. These are big influences on what you might call self-control. Self-control is the end result. Self-control is like when people say it's give or take. I said that's the end result. How do you get to give or take? You give first. You don't just end up in give or take by mistake, right? How do you end up in trust? If it's a long-term relationship, it's because you've been through and come back and you've shown patterns that you can be trusted. If you are just in love with the person you don't know, that's what you call trust. You're in love. You don't know what you're dealing with, right? So there's power, there's status, right, of particular individuals, and that is directly correlated to how much temptations they can be exposed to. So see, self-control, yes, it's a thing, right? But is the end result of what you would like to be in a space mentally. Will Smith said it, even in the submission he made earlier. You be in a space mentally now that you've been there, done that, you know that you've gone all around the world. The one thing you're looking for is still you. Why do people engage in bad behavior with women or members of opposite sex? Is because a lot of times it's because of low self-esteem. They find validation in those bad behaviors. Those bad behaviors make them feel better than they actually are. Will Smith said that too, right? But really, that behavior is what it makes you feel, not even when you say morals and self-control, it's what it makes you feel. Even when you say, no, I'm doing it because of Jesus, or it's because of the sense of safety you're getting in saying that. So it comes back down to understanding emotions, emotional intelligence. It comes all the way back to that space. So if you're going to exercise some morals, exercise some self-control, and you really want to put that to work, you need to understand where you came from. You need to understand what creates that self-control, right? Some of us, what creates our self-control is the way we were raised. Maybe you were raised, quote unquote, integrity. You walk a straight line, but when you get into politics, they will tell you like that integrity thing that you are doing. Calm down. We have enemies. So yes, we want to do integrity, but we have enemies and we must win. The key thing here is we win. It might be your small constituency, it might be your small little territory, or they might say, hey, you hand that over to me, and if you can't win, you don't win. The same thing at your job. It becomes very complicated conversation. It's much more complicated than, oh, I can just do right. Yes, you should do the right thing, but you must understand that there are things that cook that up. There are positions you want to be in life. There are a way you want to position yourself so that you can actually execute all the way. So that the devil always presents itself from a blind spot. I say that all the time as well. Your environment. We've spoken about environment a lot here. One thing that Adama said that was apt is the men you surround, these kind of friends you surround yourself with. There's no self-control that's more powerful than the kind of people you surround yourself with. Can we stop the cap for a second? There is no self-control that's more powerful than the people you surround yourself with. The self-control you're going to have is a function of your environment. Your influences.
Allah, you know, if you want to go to Nigeria, I want them to reserve one girl for you before you come. You will have done that with bad friends.
Easy. Even after you told yourself last night, sir, that I want to do the right thing. On that second day, you're like, because that's what emotions are, right? It changes. It depends on the environment you're in, right? So if you want to do the right thing, let's extend that beyond. I want to position myself in the right environment so that I'm actively always working so that I don't put myself in a compromising position where I start to question. People actually question morals. They're like, maybe I'm too stiff for myself. Let me bend the rules sometimes. Do we not tell ourselves that sometimes, sir, as human beings? You can bend a little bit now. It's not right.
Let me tell you one funny story. you know what?
Oh, wait, though.
You know, I want
after you go, sir, Chinye, you should have spoken out now. You know how we do here now, eh? Uncle Bendo, same thing. Chinye has been here.
Chinye will laugh with this story. Just cool that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I used to work with Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me a phone.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me a phone then. So I had my own phone. So my phone was 40.
Mm-hmm.
So I ordered for a phone, and the phone came through. Is it Amazon or eBay? I forgot. It's been long.
Right.
So I called this phone provider. I wanted to switch my data, everything to that old phone. And then they said, well, you have to plug it and do so and so. So I plugged. My daughter just went, when I left for work, I used my phone, I went to work. My daughter just grabbed the phone, picture that was there, was just texting. Because my friend number were loading one by one. Was just texting there. Meanwhile, the person that owns the phone, a lady, has herself, everything about herself in that. Like, she's a white girl. She was naked. She took a picture. And my daughter texts all my friends with the number. I'm like, can you believe my friend? We are calling, Patrick, I like that picture you said. Someone does say, Pastor Patrick. I'm like, what? Do you
what are you forwarding, sir? A lot of our parents, they mistakenly forward stuff around on WhatsApp like that.
I was mad at my daughter because she has locked my password one time. People that didn't believe in America were thanking me that I said that. What?
Oh.
So you like that kind of thing?
Let me see. All right. Hold on. Hold tight, sir. Uncle Patrick. I have on the stage, I have Chinye, I have Chidima. I don't know what I did to these people today that they showed up today after about 3 years. I haven't seen them in 3 years.
They've come here to support Chinye and Chidima. Welcome to the show. Day one.
Thanks for me.
After about 3 years, they found their way back to the Prestige family. But Chinye, welcome to the stage. Chinye, talk to me. What's going on? Chinye, talk to me now. On mute too.
Maybe she's muted.
Oh yeah, let me go to Chidima. Chidima, Alfana. How you doing?
Good evening, man of Prestige. Can you hear me clearly?
Clearly, no lags, no delays.
No baton.
Wow.
Talk to me, Jerry. Alpha.
Oruko Jesu, or however Yoruba people say it. Okay.
Where have you been? Welcome back.
Thank you so much. I have missed you all. I really have. It's so good to be back. I'm happy to be back. But there was a question someone just asked Uncle Patrick, which is why did woman invite him on the cruise or something like that? And
he didn't answer it.
That is what made me type what I typed, which is the two examples
that
Patrick just gave, right?
Right.
They had something in common. He listened to the women when they first reconnected or something, and gave them emotional support. Now to him, and I'm not coming at Uncle Patrick, please. I'm not coming at you, sir.
No, you are right.
I'm just saying, knowing us women, right? They may have seen that as a green light. You did not
Wait. Now continue. Continue.
Patrick is just being himself because he's in his pastor mode, even when he's at work, when he's in the grocery store, anytime. He may not even consciously be pastoral mode, but it's become such
You
a
are
second
right.
nature to him.
100% right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know pastors. I have pastors in my family, so I know how these men are. So it's second nature to them to give people listening ear and stuff. And women tend to throw themselves at him. What I will say is because I've also been on the other side of it, why I had to ask myself question. Why are men always thinking I'm giving them green light when I'm just minding my business?
Hey, you have that come and do
I
eyes.
have the same problem because I grew up with men. So I
This is what no wait, Chidima, this is what they call it. They call it come and do eyes. Come
yes,
and do.
I have those eyes.
Jesus. Okay.
I have the eyes and I have the personality. And I'm
And the
not saying that
personality.
I just mean that I grew up an only girl. So I grew up with a lot of
Mm,
boys. So I grew up like comfortable with boys and vice versa. So I can
I
enter a
see.
room and naturally guys will gravitate towards me or I will gravitate towards guys instead of my fellow gender. It just become part of my whole life growing up. And
Wow.
so I'm seeing myself as one of the bros. Not
Mm,
knowing that some of them are reading another thing. You see, it took me a long time to stop and think, why are these people thinking I'm giving them green light? So I'm
right.
saying this to say because you said expand the conversation, right? We have gone beyond cheating now too. Sometimes we have to stop and think, what are we doing? And we have to
Mm.
maybe consciously cut back on some things that they may not be wrong, but certain people
Yes,
may
exactly.
misread it. It's not always
Exactly.
about right and wrong, black and white. You
Yes.
have
You have to
to be,
you have to be ahead of that.
you have
The,
to
the
read
the
between
end goal is to do the right thing, but you have to be ahead of.
exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Talking about
Yeah.
And
cheating, and you're
anything
talking
you are
about
even
options
doing,
and opportunities.
partner, oh,
Sorry, I didn't hear Uncle Patrick. What did you say, sir?
anything you are doing that you didn't allow your partner to know, you are talking to your opposite
That's
sex.
already cheating. Yeah.
So you have to be very careful. And that was what I
Yep.
was saying. I just know I can't do this. I'm just
Right. And that is how emotional cheating starts, right?
Yep.
That's
Mm-hmm.
how it starts. So some people might say, well, I just bumped into this person in the grocery store, and you think you're going to chat for 5 minutes. You end up standing there talking for 1 hour. There's no opportunity to let your partner know right there in the moment. Telling
Mm-hmm.
them later is not the same. It's not the same because
Yeah.
the damage has been done. So in that kind of situation, what do we do? Do we hurry up and end the conversation? No matter how sweet and juicy it is. Like Uncle Patrick said, this woman told me everything about herself. It's not every man she will tell about herself. Something about Uncle Patrick made her feel comfortable, make her feel she could trust him. He created a safe, trusting environment.
And if she feels safe
Help
long
trust-
enough, what happens? If she
She,
feels
she, invites,
safe,
she invites him to cruise.
she gets wet. Let's call it what it is.
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
I have to run like Joseph.
Oh,
No,
sorry,
no.
sir.
Why are you running?
Why are
Why
you
are you
on?
running?
Ah, I don't want to buy diaper again. Too old for that.
Sir, this thing that if it was that easy, that everybody has self control, everybody will be doing it now. I think everybody wants to do the right thing. I think everybody, some people, we like to assume, we like to think that a lot of people are just
You
evil,
know,
and that's it. But that's not.
Ola,
Yes, sir.
let's be frank. At
Yeah.
my age,
Mm-hmm.
I can deal with women that are even in menopause without no baby. You just do whatever. But why should I be doing that? I'm just deceiving myself.
No, you will if you do that, sir. You
That
know, if you any man that does that, I forgot we're having a conversation just now. Even the Will Smith and all this kind of stuff. There's so much you are missing. There's so much you are going to lose in
that's
such behavior, right? Again, for short-term gain, you're going to lose so much. So that's a conversation we can have another day in terms of what a man loses by willingly participating in such behavior and say there's nothing there. It's like Blessing CEO saying there's nothing there, I will get this man. It's the same thing. There's a lot that you're going to lose from that kind of behavior. But yes, sir. Let me see. Chinye, are you back here now? Chinye. Maybe we drop her off the stage then. Let's drop her off the stage so that she can come back.
women are bad, yo.
Chinye, come back.
It's not just women, sir. It's men and women.
Man of prestige, can I speak on the topic you brought up about control?
Yes, please.
You said something about you said you had seven this thing that you feel matches the word
I've
this
been
thing.
covering it. I
And
said there are factors. I've been covering them
oh yeah,
already.
seven fact, yeah. And I like the word you use,
Before
control.
before
Control is
before you go, let me drop this one because I'm dropping them as you go. Before you go, let me drop this one. Communication skills. Okay, your communication skills. You see, many infidelities are they stem from unspoken issues and unmet needs. Okay, see, again, it's very easy to the easy route to go when, especially if you don't collect after, like, you've been on the victim side of infidelity before. We tend to go in that, those those of us that maybe we've been cheated on, we tend to go in the direction of self-control, right? As in, like, that's one thing you should have. But a lot of people have unspoken needs, or they have unmet needs, and they can't talk about it. And maybe because they don't feel safe to talk about it, maybe because they are terrible at communication themselves. As an adult, we have to blame you for not making your needs known. If we have to blame, we don't have to blame. We can just say, hey, I have unmet needs. Let's talk about how to learn the skills to communicate in a way that my needs can actually be understood and be received, right? So some people, to avoid conflict, that's what they yield to. Bad behavior. The bad behavior, remember, it goes from everything from doing anything you wouldn't do in front of your spouse. It starts from there, all the way to bringing a baby home. I know we like to think the worst, but it's all cheating. Okay, so inability to express your needs, which is bad communication skills, or fear of vulnerability. You don't want to expose yourself. You can't tell a man all of that, or you can't tell your woman all of that, but you're inside of a marriage with them. Those are the kind of things you become vulnerable, you become exposed. And no, you're not going to see it coming where you will say, I would. It's not always that you get to flee. Sometimes there's no doors to flee. It's too late.
True.
Go ahead, Adana. I wanted to drop that before I continue.
What I wanted to say when you said when you mentioned control, I like the word position, because for me, control and position goes together. I believe in this thing. Do not put yourself in a position where you're not going to be in control. What do I mean by that? Take for instance, a lot of women on Facebook have their ex as their follower. I don't believe in it. If you want to, like, a lot of women do it, especially women in the diaspora. They have their ex, they'll say, I went to college with this person, Uniben, all this thing, and they're connecting with someone they met here. At the end of the day, this is what I want to say. Do not put yourself in a position. Uncle Patrick just told a story. For women, if I have dated you in the past and I'm not on Facebook, and one of the reasons that why I'm not on Facebook, I'm not interested in connecting with anyone I went to college or med school with. That's just me. If I'm someone, if I want to build a relationship with you, my relationship is going to build with you based on where I am in life and with my family included in it. And if you fit into that lifestyle, for me to build that relationship. So I am very skeptical in who I bring into my life, because I know the man I'm married to, and at the same time, we are very transparent with each other. That's why for me, which I'm not saying everyone is the same way, I don't believe in Facebook, but I believe Facebook, a lot of our women have put themselves in the position where they reconnect. You see these women liking the pictures of their ex with their family, or because you're distant. Why are you putting yourself in that position? And at the same time, why are you so invested in what your ex is doing in his life? Like, I don't get it. Like,
Curiosity kills the cat.
Kills the cat. Before you know it, now they'll slid into private message. They'll start DMing each other. That your gun you went with your husband last night to church really looks good on you. It reminds me of. But so it goes back to position and control. So
Absolutely.
let us stop putting ourselves in the position where we're going to be tempted to be connected to something, because nobody, except a few people, nobody wakes up today and say, I'm going to cheat on my spouse. But some people do. But at the end of the day,
Some do.
I want to tell people, no matter, like Man of Prestige says, self-control is the last thing. It is constantly work that you need to do on yourself, meaning that do not put yourself in that position. Learn to control yourself when you see.
Don't be testing your own muscles.
Thank you. So
Like,
it
I have
has to be
self-control.
something you fight all the time, because guess what? Temptation is real, and it has nothing to do with how controlling or anything it is. And know you women, please, the way they fall like Mugo, you will be so confused. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for adding on to that. Go ahead, sir. You wanted to say something?
Allah,
Yes, sir.
Facebook is even the worst.
I love Facebook. Oh, wait till they happen for Facebook.
Let me tell you what, one of my daughter in Nigeria, I don't know, maybe when
Mama, why did you mess up my bed?
Mute yourself. Yeah, Mama Tinye. Mute yourself.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you pull me back.
no, I don't know, maybe I did something. So one of my daughters, some of her friends, she just called me and said, Dad, I just caught some of my friends from you because I don't want them to begin to text you or Facebook. I said, what? I said, I didn't even know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, Chinye, talk to me. Chinye, talk to me. Let's get Chinye finally.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry, Uncle Patrick. Were you still going? Sorry.
I said, after Chinye, I'm going to talk about communication.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And after Uncle Patrick, I'll talk about communication too.
All right, perfect. Sounds good. All right, Chinye, talk to me.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry about earlier. A call came in.
Okay, and it took you out. Okay, no problem.
Yes, so I wanted to talk about the whole Davido situation, right?
Chinye, before you continue, Omoye is here. Shout out to Omoye. Omoye. Omoye said, she said, is it true? She wants to know, is it true all married men cheat? Wow. Answer and then you continue. Answer.
Oh my, good to see you. Oh, you popped up today. Yay. Anywho, so I just wanted to talk about Davido. So one thing I could say is, I know like humans, I know like we're full of crap, right? But when I listen to the whole show, one thing I could say is I can definitely see some type of growth in him. I could see he seems to be a little bit more relaxed. I do believe him when he said that these days you just want to be chilling at home.
I believe that too.
I believe that. And then when he said that, when they were teasing him, and he was like, "Oh my God, peace of mind is everything." I believe that too.
Yeah, and he said, "I'm already starting to sweat." People can't just come up with that. That's real. When he said that,
He was sweating. They had to give him a tissue.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not beans. Like I wouldn't just say, oh, he's just talking crap, or he's still doing whatever. They're just signing disclosure. Yeah, like human beings can be deceptive, and maybe somewhere behind the scenes he might do it. But like, based on what I see, I mean, I don't know him personally, but I feel like there have been some type of changes that have been made. Is it 100% yet? I don't know, but I know there's something going on. I can see that growth, like a young man who's actually finally growing the hell up, and it's a process, right? Especially with the kind of exposure and the kind of things that get brought to them, thrown on the plate, like people put it like Beku's put on a platter and then over with the fork and knife, but
everywhere. Beku's not water.
So there was something he said though, because I watched the full interview last night when I was cooking. He said that these days, like sometimes the boys will call him, oh, let's go out to the club. He's like, nah, I'm just chilling at the crib. Or sometimes he will just tilt his head back and just sleep, snoring.
Right.
Like, what?
Or regret it. He also mentioned it was vulnerable and say like, what am I doing here? Like he said that too, like on a yacht.
Like, what am I doing here? And then he said at one time the guy was like, man, you're not funny anymore. He was like, that was when like they went to Trinidad to perform in the concert. And they're like, let's bring the girls. He's like, no, you guys not about to put me in trouble, because when you guys bring the girls and then I get in trouble, you guys are gonna leave my butt to dry and social media to and also the stuff I have to do, because it sounds like at home he gets a lot of heat. And then the stuff I have to deal with.
He got a lot of heat from Chioma. Chioma is not as soft as people think she is.
Chioma, Chioma is not. So like they collect with the. So it's like, nah, peace of mind is everything. So I believe that, like he's, like when he was like in trouble, like it was like he was going through a lot. So and it seems like it didn't feel good at all. So he's trying to avoid whatever it is that he was dealing with that didn't feel good at all. And
Yeah.
he's enjoying this a small piece now.
It doesn't mean he won't find a way to circumvent that and figure it out. But
Yeah,
at
that's what I'm saying. That's what I
least he
was
won't
saying.
publicly disrespect his girl anymore.
Right. Yeah, but that was why I said that, humans are full of crap. So they'll still one way or the other might try to do something still behind.
But Chinye, let me ask you this question. So sorry, I'm interjecting you quite a bit. Let me ask you this question, right? Do women hate the embarrassment more or the lack of integrity more?
When you put it as more, man, it makes it a little tough because you hit everything. But the embarrassment is tough. The embarrassment is tough, man. Like,
So if you have to pick, the embarrassment is what they hate the most, not the lack of integrity. Adama, speak to me.
I feel like it's both.
Chidima.
Well, I pick integrity because
I think it's
integrity
both.
speak. Sorry, it's just
Well,
something
bless
spicy.
you.
I'm sorry, I didn't really understand the question.
Do women hate the embarrassment of a man who cheated on you more or the lack of integrity of such men?
Why are you showing us so being?
Well, me personally,
Mind yourself, oh.
I would hate the lack of integrity. The embarrassment has to do with third parties. Their how I think they are looking at me or at us or our relationship. The integrity has to do with us, our relationship, strictly between me and you. That is more important to me than what anybody out there thinks. Because not every relationship will make it outside to cause embarrassment, but it can still damage our relationship.
Wait, I'm generalizing. I'm not talking about you. Generalizing a women. Do women hate?
Every women.
Stop it, Joe. Stop it.
Why
No,
are
but
you
if you're using the word every woman, Uncle Ben, every women, I would say most women do not like the embarrassment. Most women will not like the embarrassment. But if you want to personalize it on Chinyere and the women that are on your platform, I personally, I'm not looking at the embarrassment. I'm looking at the
Exactly.
integrity. So that's the part I'm looking at. But the general consensus among women is women don't like to be embarrassed.
I think you may be right because you hear things like, I don't care what he's doing as long as he doesn't bring it back home. That speaks to embarrassment. So I think she's right in saying that generally speaking, it took me a moment to think about it. Women generally, maybe some of us are the exceptions. I rather deal with your integrity than embarrassment. You know.
Yeah, it's never really the people speaking. But but I hear you. There's one more person. Chinye. Then I'll have to go to Uncle Patrick to talk about communication real quick. Chinye. Answer the question. Embarrassment or?
I thought I answered the question, but I guess you were not letting me. You were not allowing me. So what I said, I think I said that in general, like the women do not like the embarrassment, but then I was saying both because integrity to me is like that trust. So behind my back, you just out here acting a damn fool. That hits home hard for me. Like,
Yeah, because the tricky part about that question is like, if I said to you that if your husband comes to you and say, hey, as long as I don't embarrass you, it's okay for me to cheat. Of course, your obvious answer will be hell no, right? But the way I asked that question, it was intentional because that's something that we need to talk about when we're talking about this conversation. But hold on, ladies, let me go to Uncle Patrick. He wanted to speak to us about communication, and then we'll go to Chidima too. Uncle Patrick, sir.
Yeah, what I wanted to say is my experience about the dating dates. Let me put it that way. I'm in my 60s. I'm in my 60s. Ola. Let me tell you, from 50 downward, the dating scene, let me put it please, it's very tough. I've had some serious stories. I say, what? Are you serious? Especially the so-called Christian. A lot of things is going on, Ola.
It's a struggle. That's why Pastor Bolaji is blowing up. Pastor Lazarus. That's why they're blowing up, because they talk about relationships.
I'm even talking about from 50 plus.
Mm-hmm.
From 50 plus. Those.
So are you talking about single people, right? Of course.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, single people 50 plus. It's
They are,
rough.
yeah, from 50 plus.
Mm-hmm.
They are lion.
Mm.
Their communication, the way they communicate, especially the women, they want to possess you.
That's a topic for a different day, sir.
They are not giving room for. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Friend has been single. Men, I'm talking about men in their age, and they go to dating sites of Christian dating sites, and they have to go. You talk on phone. They have to go and see the person. These are matured men. Hola, I can't say it on this forum. I can't say.
By the way, sir, 13% of the people here think all men cheat out of 23 votes. So, yeah.
I can't say it here. What experience they had with these women, the so-called Christian women, men.
Sir, you're saying that a lot of people lie to themselves. Basically, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, these are matured women. Matured women. Are you serious? This happened?
Tell us one of it, sir. Tell us just one of it, sir.
Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to mention them.
Please don't.
Yes. So
let's just call her Shade.
No, I'm not even going to mention.
Okay, all right.
My friends, in his almost 60 then. She met this lady on what's it called, Christian dating site in her 50s, and this lady is the wife of a pastor that passed. So the guy got there, stayed in the hotel. I'm just going to give you a simple one. They stayed in the hotel 2 days, went to her house, get to know the family, met the mom, she took her around, nothing happened. So the last day he was leaving, the woman came, and before you know it, they carry her. These are in their old age. So the guy was now saying, why? I didn't expect this. She now said the mother told her, but don't lose this woman, don't lose this man. And this man is expecting you to carry him. I don't want to go into details of what happened, but I'm just giving that example. That if an elderly woman would tell the so-called Christian,
right,
spiritual to, and eventually the guy didn't marry her. Nobody were both. The guy eventually married
what he wanted.
Yeah, a white lady. So, but the lady will not give up. We will always hold him to his heart, that man. And the funniest thing, and this woman maybe the woman can say to that. The guy was telling this woman she's gone into menopause. So the guy was telling me, the woman called him and said what the guy did to her, that she saw a period that man she can't. I'm like, what is going on in this world? So
to me, humans are humans. Excuse my French, they will knock.
I just give you very, very good one. I just told you that very good one. I don't want bad one on the.
I understand, sir. Yeah, that's why our education must go beyond trying to tell people. As our educations with regards to this thing start from the right thing and the wrong things. Yes, we must keep reminding ourselves of the morals, our moral standards, the societal morals. We must keep. There's nothing wrong with that, but we must take the conversation beyond that. We must understand the psychology of human beings. We must understand the many factors that affects marriage relationships. We pick on a few of them, communication being one of them, and we just zone in on that, and we don't realize that human beings, you cannot box us. If we get this one figured out, we will find another way, to still be human beings, meaning we're not perfect. Chidima, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Ola, thank you for your program.
Yes, sir.
I have a friend that's a professor, my age mate, he's a professor, colleges. So he's an executive of a non-profit of African, they teach them, they have more than 50 computers in a big building. Some of the girls that were sexually molested, all these white ladies, they come and volunteer, they teach them computer. So the man was not telling, you know what is wrong with our African women or African Christian? We just pray. We don't know Christian education. Like what kind of communication? That's only why will white people be coming to volunteer, and our women that are even educated to be by the side of these girls and teach them moral, like what we are learning now. And this man even said, she told the wife, say, what is wrong with you African women? You think prayer alone will solve everything?
Yeah.
What about Christian education? What about you mentoring people? You can't even what you don't have, Ola. You can't what you don't have. So that's our problem. It's just we just only believe in
very
prayer.
very deep problems, sir. Very deep problems. Yeah.
And thank God for the ladies that are hanging out with you. We are learning every day. We are moving from one platform to another. We are learning, we are equipping ourselves.
Absolutely. Shout out. I see what Uncle Beno has been doing.
Yes.
I haven't had a chance to jump in.
I'm not boasting. I'm not quick to talk. But if I'm in a gathering, I will cool down. I'll allow people to talk. But when I talk one, they say, this man, where are you from? You know what? Because, the wisdom, the knowledge are passing. So our women should learn to educate themselves in a good forum. They should go to seminar. Even Christian, it's not just prayer. Put yourself out there. I need a husband. Much.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Chidima, speak to me. You didn't lose your thought, right? Talk to me.
No, I didn't. Okay, so about communication, the importance of it. I read a book many years ago in Nigeria. It was called I Don't Want Delilah, I Need You, something like that. I think it was written by some American pastor. I'm not exactly sure who, but he was basically saying that if you read that place in the book of Judges about Samson and Delilah, that the Bible didn't explicitly say they were having.
Guess who wrote the book I Don't Want Delilah, I Need You?
I think I know who. I think I know who. I'm acting like I don't know who because of the drama.
No, it's okay. God can use anybody.
I know who.
Yeah.
I was trying to cover my...
What roots?
It's Eddie Long. Eddie Long. God used Eddie Long in so many ways. So, but everybody has. That's the whole point of what we're saying. Anybody have weaknesses.
Human beings.
Excuse me, please. Man of President, are you talking about Eddie Long, the
man of President? Why did you bring this up now? See what you started.
Yes, the same Eddie Long, but we'll come back to that another day. Yeah, continue, Chidima, continue.
You're gonna take away the punch from what I'm trying to say.
No, it won't. Not here. Trust me. Trust me, not here. Trust me. The point will be well made. Continue, Jerry.
Okay. So anyway, from the book, what he was writing that if you read that place in the book of Judges, the Bible didn't explicitly say about their career that between Samson and Delilah, but he said that whenever Samson went to her, he always had a place to lay down his head. Basically, she created a comfortable, safe environment.
Yes.
And the woman was very young. Probably
you're shaking tables. You're shaking tables.
Man of Prestige, what is this?
You're shaking tables now. I wasn't ready, but continue.
Why are you showing us this picture now?
You are shaking tables. Number 4, health of the relationship. Let's stop capping. Let's stop the cap. Okay.
Can you
go ahead? Finish, please. Finish.
My train of thought. This
oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
Anyway, so so basically he was saying that even though I think I was very young, probably a teenager when I read that book, but that aspect of what Delilah provided for Samson stayed with me. Yes, we know she's an Olosho. Yes, we know she's all the bad things. Yes, but there was a lesson we can learn from even a bad person, and that stuck with me. And that was the point of the book, basically, or at least that part of the book. I don't remember any other part of the book, but my point is to say how important safety and communication really is, or like you put it here, number 4, the health of the relationship. Now, I have a follow-up question to what I just said. Whose job is it to communicate? Is it you have to feel safe to communicate, or do you just start from the get-go communicating and gauge how safe it is and then know how further you can go? Like
You
how
see, let me answer that. You see, communication is a moving target.
okay,
You guys know that. That's why I said communication is active listening. 80% active listening. So you can't really speak to what you don't understand. So you have to be very generous if you want to be proud of being a person with a communication skills, especially that you're always growing it, because human beings are also moving targets. So you might be communicating using a style from 1960, and then you're not landing, and you're just saying, I'm a traditional man, and your communication is not landing, right? So you have to pay attention to the context, everything that's going on, who you talking to, what's the topic, what is the content, what is the context, right? Before you can actually effectively communicate. So whose responsibility? Is always the responsible as the person complaining, right?
okay, you always
If you can
say that, yeah.
complain, then you can then you
Do
have
something about it.
you have enough to do something about it. It doesn't mean it's your fault. It just
Right.
means you can listen, you can understand, because even mad people, there's a root cause for their madness.
True.
Right? So if you don't understand that person is the root cause of their madness, or at least be willing to listen, you're going to be talking at a wall. So who is wise? You?
No.
So communication, whose responsibility? Is my responsibility. It's mine. It's not the other person's responsibility. It's my responsibility. Right? And I can remove myself if I'm talking to a wall on a constant basis. I can remove myself, but it's always my responsibility to communicate. We tend to blame men for this part more, right? Because they're leaders. Yes. If a man goes and say, like if a man says, like we don't let them, if they say I cheat, if a woman cheats, right? We will say, what did we say first? So like, what did you do? Oh, not me. What do women say? Women, what did you do is what they ask first, right? What did she do? Because it's very hard for a woman to go and cheat. In the same breath, though, we say it's women that cheat more. See, the confusion is real.
I see, yes. When a man cheats, we always blame the wife that she did something or she wasn't doing something enough.
Right.
And then the man step outside. Yes.
And I'm one of them, honestly. It's not to blame the man for our actions, it's to say maybe you had been complacent in that relationship. Maybe you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in that relationship. It doesn't mean I'm blaming you. It's actually me empowering you. Say, hey, when you get to your next relationship, there's some cues. You haven't paid attention. For someone to be cheating on you, especially a lot of time, it's like 3, 4, 5 years affair that people have been having with a Delilah or a Delilah man. That person was finding emotional safety in another place. But when I say that, you hear it as I'm justifying cheating. Because you are locked up in your brain. You don't want to understand anything else outside of right and wrong. Yes, they are wrong.
I like what you said about the person complaining has the responsibility, because like you said, human beings are moving target. The relationship is a moving target. The person receiving what you're saying is also moving. Like you said, paying attention. The way you communicated, they have worked when they were in their 20s and you guys first met. Now in their 30s and 40s. That method of communication doesn't work. And even the 5 love languages, people's love languages evolve. One might have been my primary love language in my 20s, might be my secondary in my 40s now.
Yes.
So even basic things like that. So constantly studying yourself, the relationship, and the person you're with is very, very important. We cannot say
five love languages is rudimentary, is basic, is bare minimum. That's where you start to build your communication skills. It's the bare minimum. Once that moment where you did the assessment and you know your love language, you're just starting the work, because there's going to be more layers to this. Go ahead, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead, Chidima, finish. Did you, I know I was
No,
interjecting.
I think that was
If
really
you're
what I wanted to say about communication and safety.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to safety, whose responsibility is it to create safety? Is it the man? I'm inclined to think it's the man in a relationship. Or both.
Overall, yes. But again, if you're a lady, you're talking to me and you're telling me that your man tends to shut down or he's participating in bad behavior and all those kind of things, right?
Like silent treatment.
Silent treatment, he will need to feel safe before he stop this bad behavior. Yes, I know. Like it's a grown man. He's supposed to know better. You're
No, no,
right.
Prestige. The reason I asked, if you remember that video of that man that hid his daughter and said it was the niece, some people are saying the way she behaved, the wife ended up behaving, is the reason why the man didn't tell her. Because if he told her, so that's why I'm asking, whose responsibility is it to create safety? On the one hand, you may have prejudged the woman on how she would act, and that may not have been how she would act. So
No,
that's already
no. Don't give her an easy out. He could be right. It doesn't mean it's still not his responsibility
no,
to
of
be a
course.
man and tell the world that
As
he
soon
has a
as
child.
yes, he should have done that. Everybody, I think
Uh-huh.
most reasonable people agreed on that, regardless how the woman would have reacted at the time. But
Yeah.
my point is, so so in that kind of situation, are we blaming the woman if she had reacted a certain way for not creating a safe space for the husband to be
No, we
vulnerable?
can't do that. There's some offense that you offense
Okay,
that we cannot blame. You
safety.
cannot
The
blame
other,
another human being,
I
aka
see.
murder. Okay?
Okay.
If you commit murder, I'm not blaming who made you do it.
Oh no.
Okay, so no, there's some lines you cross that not like no, the woman didn't make you not tell the world that you have a daughter. That's crazy.
Got it. Got it. So it depends. Okay, so we're speaking in general terms, not about some of these grievous offenses, where we're talking about just creating safety in general. In general
Just
terms,
emotionalism, just we're
yes,
communicating
emotional
the
safety.
vibe, the
Yes,
romance, how we
yes.
relate, the quality of our relationship. Yes, it is also your responsibility to make your partner feel safe.
So going back to my Delilah example, at the end of the day, he was able to reveal the secret of his strength to Delilah because she kept providing that conducive
Yes,
environment for him.
yes, something that women should learn,
Yeah.
especially
So
if you're a wife. Don't wait for a side chick to do that for you.
get my question.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
said your love language evolve. That your love language at the age of 30 might change at the age of 40. So, are you able to communicate that to your spouse, or you just want him to figure it out?
So it's not evolve in that way, sir. It's not evolving in one dimensional. It's multiple dimensions, right? If it's one dimensional, it will go from gift giving to act of service. That's just one person's theory. That's just Reverend Graham's theory. I forgot his name. I think that's his name, right? That's just that theory, right? The way it evolves is that it's in the stories that is being told. You know, there's new stories being told on a daily basis, right? So imagine how lame it is for you to say, my wife loves gift giving all the time, right? So I will keep buying her Benz every time, right? I'll just buy a Mercedes Benz. Next year, when she complains that I'm sleeping with another woman, I'll just buy a Mercedes Benz. How far is that going to go, sir? It's not going to go too far, right? Because she's already ousted you. We can tell. It's predictable. What do we know about predictability, Chidima, as far as seduction attraction is concerned?
it's very unattractive.
It's unattractive. You become unattractive. You're predictable. Yeah, we know where you're going. We know you're going to apologize every time you offend me. So the apology will, because there's also something
It
called
loses value.
it loses value.
Diminishing
So that's the evolution. So if
Definitely.
anybody is stuck on, and you know my love language is act of service, and you didn't do it to me, they will just end up in basketballs because nobody's hearing you. You're stuck in elementary when you're supposed to be. It's evolving. The whole thing is evolving. It's a good place to start to get to know your partner, but it's the start. Does that help, sir? That's how it evolves. Yeah. So it's an application. The application part of it evolves in so many directions. I think somebody is back here. Chinye, talk to me. All these people are back here. They get out and they come in. Then I forget. God will not forget you in Jesus' name. You can talk to me now.
No offense. No, yeah, I agree in everything you all are saying, especially what Chidinma said, how being that we're a moving target and we evolve and we certain things that used to feel good might not feel as good anymore. That's why sometimes, like in a marriage, one of the partners would be like, "Well, when I used to do you in that position, you used to love it. Well, I don't love it anymore."
It's over, bro. Like, yeah, like do something else. Jesus Christ.
I do.
Like, what do you mean? I used to love it. Yeah, I used
I
to.
like this one better now, and it's for both, both the man and the woman.
It's for, yeah, it's for all of us. Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
so we just have to, adapt with as we're both changing.
You have to
both
adapt.
adapt to the new
Yeah.
change.
Absolutely. Sorry, Chi, before you continue. This health of a relationship thing, right? Can I shock all of us, right? Even good people can stray in broken dynamics. Can we agree to that? If you're in a broken relationship, all sense of what is this thing, right and wrong, when you don't feel right, all sense of those things, they go right. The first thing that goes right out the window is your sense of morals when you don't feel right.
That's true.
You know, emotional connection, if two people feel disconnected for a long time, vulnerability to the outside world will increase. Can we agree to that?
True.
Okay. Tí ògiri ò bá lanu, alangba ò lè wọbẹ̀. Sorry, Chinye. If the world no crack open, a lizard cannot enter.
So true.
What about sexual dissatisfaction? What about that part? 15 to 20% of marriages are in loveless, sexless marriages. It's just the other person is just bad. They just want to punish you. No, you're oversimplifying it. You're right, but you're wrong at the same time. Of course, that can lead to temptation. No, it can't. They should just be disciplined. For how long? You can't wait just a simple 4 weeks for sex. No, I can't wait. I'm sorry. Some people will tell you upfront. Some people don't want to hurt your feelings. Some people are in a vulnerable state. Some people don't want to lose everything they've been cooking for 30 years because of one-time kpekus. They'll go get the kpekus and they'll come back and you will never know anything happened. Some of them will be reckless enough. You will find out. If he's a typical man, if he continues the behavior, you will find out at some point. Very soon. Women, maybe you won't find out.
Can you talk to the fact that women are always saying when they are hot, there is no way they can?
Yeah. I've said it, but I will repeat again. You see, this thing called resentment, all of us can all claim monopoly of resentment. You see, some people go into, so they come into my sessions with all they want to talk about is all the resentments. At some point, I have to stop them. I have to stop you. I have to stop you from the self-destruction. You know? And it's very tricky because a lot of times it might seem like victim shaming. It's very tricky. That's easier said than done. That's why it's called work. At some point, you have to snatch yourself out of, yeah. So if issues pile up over and over, if it's not resolved, we know it can create atrocities. For you, you're seeing yourself as a victim. The other person also tends to see themselves as the victim. Hello, we didn't know that. We know that. So, yes, people can influence you, but you as an adult, obviously, it's empowering for you to take full responsibility of where you find yourself today. It doesn't mean you blame yourself, because if you're blaming yourself, I'll be the first to stop you too. I said, this is not about blame. Okay, if you keep blaming yourself, that's unattractive too. It's no wonder why nobody might be gravitating towards you, right? So that's not the point. We're talking about from a standpoint of empowering yourself. How did I end up in that space? What can I learn about that space where I find myself? It could be positioning. It could be something you can't control. If it's something you can't control, there is more things you can control. Focus on the things you can control. And you will find out that everything else will disappear. So the health of the relationship is absolutely, I don't care where you go back and forth with what kind of, how you were raised, with the morals and all that kind of stuff, self-control. I don't care. The health of the relationship does make people cheat. Know it and know peace. Does that mean it's your fault? No, it's just something you should know. Go ahead, Chinye. Finish your thoughts. Then anybody else who want to speak to that. That was number 4. We dropped number 4 right there. I don't know how many more we have left.
Hmm.
We still have emotional maturity.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Are we still on the previous item, health of a relationship?
No, I'm done. If you want to say something to it, you
Oh.
can say something to it.
Okay, no, it's okay.
You're
Go
good?
ahead with the next. Yeah, go ahead with the next item.
Okay, all right, good. Let me go to emotional maturity. Again, is emotional maturity, this is the context. Emotional maturity versus the number one, which is value and self-control, right? The number one, value and self-control. I know most people that have been on the receiving end of infidelity will gravitate more in this direction, but actually there's very small growth there for you, because you're basically preaching to the choir. You're preaching to yourself. You're making yourself feel better that you're the victim. It wasn't always your fault. And honestly, I'm not going to shame you on that. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. Somebody already know what time it is. You are absolutely right.
You're right.
But there's more you should know. Let's talk about emotional maturity, right? You go and marry somebody that is 25, 26, which is quite confusing, because Allah thinks you should get married around that range, right? Like, wait, people are immature no, not just immaturity, even like physically speaking, they are not there yet. Okay, well, that should be obvious. People have the whole life ahead of them, right? You don't think there's more for them to learn, even when it comes to this one favorite topic of self-control? Of course there's more to learn. How do you think they're going to learn it? Yes, they will learn from, we are educating them in class with chalkboard, but a lot of it is going to from experience. They will fall on their face. They will smash their face into pieces. Some of them will never come back from it. They can actually destroy their lives in the process of it, right? And some will be lucky enough. Majority will be lucky enough, and they will grow, right? They become more and more mature with time, with age. Somebody said, I think it was Antonia also, that said it's not about age. No, with age, everything else being equal, of course, right? With age, we tend to get more mature. Some people, you're right, some people are 70 and they're not mature. Let's just make them exceptions. A lot of people, right? It depends on what aspect of life we're talking about, right? So cheating can also tie back to people's emotional maturity. Okay, they don't know what they don't know. They are attractive enough for you to marry them. They spit good game. In fact, they didn't want to cheat until life started happening to your relationship. It's not about you. Maybe life happened to them, or maybe some traumatic experience from their childhood rose to the surface. Okay, and the way they will cope with that crisis is bad behavior. Their vulnerability rise to the top. All of this, you're right. Again, you're right. It's all excuses. Cheaters are cheaters. Listen, listen.
You're right.
I get you. But what about accountability? Just small accountability. I was wrong, baby. You're right. I was wrong, babe. You know what? It's good. It's not the day. You know, I'll let you have that. You know what? Today. What about the nuances of the ongoing micro negotiations that's always at work in a relationship, a romantic relationship that is now getting past just purely romantic? People are seeing themselves, see finish, don't they enter, right? Because be you, right? What about all that start to creep in? Just sense of the ability to be accountable. You think that's beans? No, it's not common sense. Common sense should just tell you should be accountable. No, you're probably speaking from a blind spot. There are things that you have a hard time being accountable to as well. All of us. Nobody can escape this. What about empathy? Right? What are empathy? A lot of people they think sympathy is empathy. No, empathy is just the attempt to put yourself in that other person's shoes. It's easy when you're in love. It's super hard when finish don't enter. Right? It's extremely hard when you feel like you are the victim. Imagine somebody say you are the victim. You feel like you're the victim. You feel like this person is emotionally blackmailing you and they're asking you to do empathy with them. It doesn't make sense, right? You see how hard that is? Emotional maturity. But you're like, no, they should be an adult too. And then the way they're able to cope is to go downstairs and eat ice cream at 2 a.m. Is that not cheating after they told you they will not get fat on you? That's that with that. Anybody want to speak to that, please? Emotional maturity is also something to pay attention. So you might say it helps self-control, or you might say it's the same thing. I'm okay with it as long as you highlight this one as a thing. Go ahead. I think Uncle Patrick wanted to say something to that. Okay, no, Uncle Patrick. Adama, are you there? You haven't said anything in a minute. Where are they? Uncle Patrick, are you there? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Uncle Patrick, did you want to say something? Then I can go to Chinye.
Let's say something from there.
Okay. So emotional maturity is everything, and it comes with time and a lot of intentionality. If you're not really like a student, if you're not a student learning to try to be better, connecting to this kind of program, you might not really be. You think you're mature, but you're not. You probably have a blind spot, not really realizing how immature you might be emotionally. And then when you start to learn, you start reflecting on yourself, and you start like, oh shoot, okay, I need to approach this differently to get this different result. Or I shouldn't be talking to my husband this way, or I shouldn't be popping off this way because I'm not yielding the result that I really want to get. So, and then when you start changing, it will shock him too, like, oh, so like what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
But it takes time. But once you're intentional about it, you notice that, oh, this thing used to make me upset before. This thing used to trigger me, but it doesn't trigger me anymore. And then your approach to things, you notice that you yield more results. You get more results that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Talk to me, Uncle Patrick.
Hey, Allah, that's a big one. I tell you, the Bible says it's better for you to live on a rooftop than to stay with a troublesome woman.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. That's a big one.
It's Chidima's fault, sir. She's the one that brought up Delilah.
No, it's not about Delilah. Just saying it.
I hear you, sir.
Because I'm not throwing women into under the bus, but some women are terrible. When they are angry like this, they are hungry. And some, when they come in, they believe it's me and you. They don't even want to see your family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like one of the message I had today, there is no way most men are indebted to their family. I'm not saying I'm not saying they are owing them. Some of them are brought up, the family.
You mean the extended family, right?
Yeah, their parents, for example.
Parents, yes.
Yeah, they work hard to make sure this guy is good, has a better education.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Nobody. I want you to put yourself in the parents' shoes. Like, just because this guy got married and you expect him to throw his parents away. Say, okay, you're always doing for your brother, doing for this thing. Give him a slack. Be part of them. You are one family. I've seen a woman not even want to. As soon as they come in, they don't want to see nobody. No. Even your own children want to be with their family. They want to see their uncle, their niece. They want to be part. That's the way the kids think. One time my sister came from California, and California is far. When my kids were small, before she came, my little boy said, "Is that the only time we will see them?" I was shocked. So, emotional intelligence is very important.
Yeah.
Even the way you want to discuss with your spouse at the right time, right mood.
Yes.
You don't have to be nagging every time. We all have our own issue.
That's part of that safety we were talking about.
Yeah, holding on
Yeah.
to something as if yes, it's under my way or no another way. You know,
Mm.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
creating a conducive environment. And
Mm.
friends don't want to come in because of you. There's a problem then. Can't be only you. The world is not meant for anyone.
By the way, people, sorry, sir. By the way, you don't really find out until after the resentment is really deep that the friends don't want to come around because of you.
It's all like we keep talking about value. You must bring in that value. For both of you, okay, this is what I'm getting from this woman. This, people must see you as Ola is really married. I can see that from Ola. More happier, even though things are so tough now, but
it makes the day go by easier.
No.
Even though things are tough. Yes.
Goes a long way.
Imagine when I can't wait to get home.
Yeah, that might
after
be
a tough day.
Contributing factor that no. And for our sisters, let me just tell you, the way men think about women is quite different from the way women think about men.
Absolutely.
Ola, you know what I mean?
Of course, sir. Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
From this, so now they sing one song, you be the one that will interpret it. Ola, Error Killer, Jerry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What kind of meat have we not had before?
So that's the way we think. What's the big deal? When it's talked about scene finish, now men that in the day enter men head. You know what I mean? That's the way men are wired. It's not their fault. Yeah. So when you begin to shout, the man will just take him key, just leave. See? Then you shout, finish, you go keep quiet. It's not as if he decided to ignore you, but yes, I can't take this no more.
Sometimes that's the way it can create a safe space. It just depends on what we're dealing with.
Place. You know what I mean? I had one when I was in university in Nigeria. I had one girlfriend. May I so rest in perfect peace. I learned something from her. I wasn't that skillful then. Whenever we had one, I just want to leave. She will run after me and say, "Don't leave." We'll say, "No, Patrick, please, you can't leave." My own way just to go away so that we'll not. I said, "No, you can't leave. Let's just talk about this thing." It's not a big deal as if we are having serious, but I just want to run away. I can't do this stuff. She just said, "No, we have to settle it." So she taught me how to be calm and discuss things with people. Yeah.
By any chance, who is more prone to silent treatment between you and Auntie? You or her?
She. 100%. 100%.
She'll go silent on you if it's too much for her.
100%. She's the quiet type. And quiet and very describe it. She's
now on to today. But she won't say it out. But you feel it. The tension will be thick.
Yes. So you don't have to. Let me round up. When I was growing younger, the first my seminar I attended was a lady. She's an evangelist. She said, "Let me say this before I even talk." He said, anywhere, wherever she goes to, she always say this. He said, her husband did something. And the man came to her and begged her and said, "No, I'm not going to forgive you. You've been doing it. I am not." She never said what the man did, though. The man fell sick and just cried. Hola.
I bet she was ready to forgive now.
He said that thing. And she said she just said she was just getting over it little. In her brain, she was the one that cried the man. Because she never gave the man a chance to just say, "Okay, I forgive you." Okay. She said, "I know carry well," you know what I mean? Deny her straight. And part of like we discussed, part of emotional intelligence is deny carry for more. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. If you do that long enough, The other person is human. So remember, if I was teaching that person, I would tell them that no, they're not punishing you. There's something going on with your relationship, and it's also your responsibility, right? But for us to turn around and say, "Is it food?" Is it food? What do you mean? All right. Thank you, Uncle Patrick. I appreciate you, sir. Let me go to number 7. Then and then we'll go around the house for our last words. Number 7, personality. I can't tell you how many clients I've had, and I will say, is there infidelity? And they'll say, no, it's not him. That's not who he is anyway. Right? It's just too obvious. It's not that guy. You know? Clients, people dealing with silent treatment, bad communication skills, people that are messing up with finances, people that resent each other as far back as 5, 6, 7 years ago. But she's just so sure that no, it's not infidelity. It's not that. Why is that? Yet on social media, the only thing we like to talk about when it comes to broken marriages is infidelity. Right? We just like to talk about that because I guess it's popular. It's a popular topic. So when it comes to personality, let me just tell you like this. Some people, no matter what, it's not who they are at the core. So that already defiled the question. Like it messes the question is false. All men cheat? No, it's false. There's some people that it's not who they are. You know, it doesn't give them any thrill. Did you know that cheating for some people is actually them they're seeking a thrill. They're looking for excitement. Right? And it's very subconscious. Doesn't mean they're not guilty. Doesn't mean they're not responsible for their behavior. But it comes from a very deep subconscious place. And if anything, they should know this about themselves, about their own personality, so that they can protect themselves from themselves. Some people, they give them they're chasing risk or doing the secret. The moment they find out that they have been cheating with that one person, they don't want that one person anymore because it's now out in the open. They need somebody who is a secret. They need a situation that nobody knows, that is hiding. If the whole world, so say, why don't you just marry the person if you don't want to be there? That's not what they wanted from the situation. Right? And of course, there are people who are narcissistic that no matter what you tell, they don't have the empathy to comprehend what you're saying, especially in a quote unquote man's world, in a society where they allow men to get away with as much as they can, as much as you accept it as a woman. Right? But cheating may not feel wrong to them. They call it their polygamist. There's also that situation, right? There's also insecurity, right? Again, surprise, insecurity or insecure people part of the way they cope is cheating. They get the sense of validation from everything outside, but it takes time for them to realize that they will never get happiness from that. In the meanwhile, everybody in that situation, they'll collect, including their children, potentially. Including the marriage or including themselves. Because honestly, I don't know about how much treasure are you going to have stored away if your lifestyle is like that. You're going to lose out a lot if this is your weakness, right? So just teaching people just do the right thing is not enough, is the point I've been making all along. So you need to address minimum of these 7 things I just talked about today before you can even address that issue of cheating. We already said value, self-control, that's bare minimum. Number 2, communication skills. If you suck or your partner suck in communication skills, it will create vulnerability. Emotional maturity. Number 3. Number 4, health of the relationship matters. No, matters. Okay. Number 5, positioning. Okay. Don't go and be flexing muscles. See, I have self-control. I can do anything. Yeah, right. Good luck. Number 6, available options. You're not a Davido. Stop comparing yourself to Davido. Davido has women everywhere, in every corner of that industry. Okay, so it's going to take him a whole lot more to have that the same thing we agreed to, self-control, than me and you. That's just the reality. Okay? I don't live in a world where women are all the time naked around me and it's part of my livelihood and there's millions of dollars coming from it. I don't have that life. So I cannot in good faith compare myself to that. Number 7, personality. So let's go around the house. Let's have some last words.